Morning, everyone. Let's stand and let's sing our first song of the morning on our green sheet inside your program, Let the Way of the Heart. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Love upon love upon love. All hearts are beating as one. Light upon light upon light, shining as bright as the sun. Let the way of the heart, clap with me. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Love upon love upon love. All hearts are beating as one. Light upon light upon light, shining as bright as the sun. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Love upon love upon love. All hearts are beating as one. Light upon light upon light, shining as bright as the sun.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jackie Peterson, and I am your trustee on duty for today. So on behalf of Reverend Donna Maurer, the Board of Trustees, and also our licensed spiritual practitioner team, I am privileged to welcome you to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. And as I said before, you are a loving, huggy, talkative group, and I love it. It's wonderful. Whoever you are and wherever you are in your spiritual path, you are truly welcomed here. You're going to be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all that you were meant to be. Our vision statement, please join me in it if you know it. Love in action, every day, in every way. And we express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. And on the back of your programs, you'll find our declaration of principles. And you can join me now, please, in reading them. I believe there is an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life as happy, healthy, and complete, and so it is. Do we have some first-timers here today? I know we have one. And we have 2 and 3 and 4. Great. Do you want to just stand and introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Leah Hansen. I'm married to Ray, who's been here before, and Marianne is my mother-in-law.
Yay, welcome so much. Where is it that you live? Henderson, Nevada. Thank you. And there was, hi.
Hi, I'm Brenda Guy from Roseville, California, and I'm here with my sister Peggy.
Nice. Welcome, Brenda. And here?
Hi, my name is Dominic, and I'm Dennis and Mary Ann's friend, and this is Sherry, and we're from Phoenix, Arizona.
Dominic and Sherry, welcome.
I was here like 5 years ago when they used to live in Green Valley before. And then they left, and then they're back here, so we're here again visiting. So nice to be with y'all.
Back and forth. I think we resemble that remark too, Dan and I. Yes.
Hi, my name is Julia Parlin, and I live in Green Valley.
Julia, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Welcome. Anybody else? Well, thank you. So I would like to thank all the people that make this Sunday service so possible. And it starts with all of you, both the regular attendees and the guests, and also those prospective new attendees that live in the area. You know, if you weren't here, it wouldn't be the same. I've often said, and I'm going to say it now, I know from the love of all of you whose faces I'm looking at now, if Dan and I needed anything, I could call any one of you and you'd be there. And that's how we are for you too. Love you so much. So I also thank the people that volunteer in this church that do this setup. How about our musician here too, Heather? She's pretty awesome. And we have, thank you. Little help from my friends, that's good. Gray, who is dutifully on the, I don't know what you call that thing, but he runs the show technically, and that's good. I'm not technical. So, and I also want to thank the people that volunteer. You know, most of you, as I look at your faces, you volunteered for something or another, so thank you so much. Direct your attention now to the inside of your bulletin. There are the announcements on the second page inside of your bulletin. And for those of you that are watching us online, please visit cslaz.org if you want to see what's happening in our announcement section.
And if you are joining us for the first time, welcome again. The words for our Namaste song are inside the first page of your bulletin. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you. And you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you. and you and I are one. Namaste, namaste.
Good morning. My name is Louise, and I am your practitioner today. Just a little reminder, we are the praying arm of the church, so if you have a prayer request, please put it in the box over there. And we have birthday cards, so if you want to get a birthday card on your birthday, please fill one of these out as well. So I light this candle just knowing that it is the light of God from within each of us, and we take this light out to our community. So get comfortable if you want to close your eyes. And just know with me that there is one life, one power, one presence, and I choose today to call this God. This one all-encompassing power and presence nourishes our minds and our souls. The presence of spirit and love being everywhere is with you and me right here and right now. This presence is you, this presence is me, and spirit is flowing in and through each one of us. So I claim and I know that today, that this good day, this God day, this service today is unfolding perfectly in our minds, in our hearts, and the mind of God. And I am grateful for Donna, whose words bless and inspire us. I know that all words of faith are affirmed by the action of law and love. And I say yes. And so it is. So my reading today is from the book Healers on Healing. And this is an excerpt by Gerald Jampolsky. The common denominator in all healing is God. And because God and love are one and the same, the common denominator in healing is love. To heal and be healed is to walk each day, each hour, each second with God. It is to recognize that God is our only true relationship. To heal is to recognize every encounter with another person as a holy encounter, seeing only the holiness in that person. The healing process is made up of unconditional love, forgiveness, and letting go of fear. Jampolsky states that healing is simply seeing no value in negative thoughts such as guilt, fear, and worry. Peace of mind occurs the second we are willing to put all of our energy into helping and giving unconditional love to another. He also says in healing we strive to only see two emotions, love and fear. We choose to retrain our minds not to see the world or those in it as attacking. We choose to see others as either loving or fearful. When someone is fearful, they are giving us a call of help for love. We can be loving and compassionate to someone whom we perceive as fearful. But if we choose to see that other person as attacking, we will attack back. And in that process, we attack ourselves. In our healing process, we choose not to see ourselves as victims and to take responsibility for our thoughts and feelings. In that process, we learn that there is no one to blame. These are the author's words. When I look back on my life, no one ever told me or demonstrated for me as a child that if I wanted to have consistent peace of mind, all I had to do was make peace of mind top priority and my goal. No one ever told me all I had to do is to live 1 second at a time, being kind, gentle, tender, and loving to all that is living, the human species, animals, insects, plants, trees, and to exclude no one from my love, including myself. It is myself that I am most tempted to leave out, and that is when I become an unhealed healer. I am finding that nothing can hurt me except my own thoughts and my own mind. I find that now I can pick up myself and choose to love again, instead of being attached to anger, guilt, depression, and illness. I do my best each day to have peace of God as my goal and forgiveness as my only function, and to listen to the voice of love, the voice of God within my heart. Healing is releasing from the past and learning not to make interpretations of people's behaviors or motives. It is letting go of expectation, assumptions, and the desire to control or manipulate another person. Healing is letting God write the script of my life. This continues personally for me to be a struggle. I always struggle with this. To heal is to trust in a creative force that is loving and forgiving, and to know in our hearts that there is no separation, and we all joined in love with God and each other. It means that all hearts and minds are joined as one. Healing is to know that life is eternal. There is not death here. It is to awaken ourselves to love and caring for each other. To heal is to become a messenger of God, accepting God's love for ourselves and giving that unconditional love to all with no exceptions. To heal is to live one's life as a prayer, accepting our natural state of pure joy and happiness, peace and love, and extending that to all of life. Namaste. And I take this candle and hold the high watch.
This is a song that I wrote in 2021 for part of our annual pledge campaign. It was the very first online telethon we ever had. And the theme of that campaign was the heart of the matter. And I went through just about every song that I have looking for something talking about healing. It's not something I talk about in my songwriting very often, but this one in particular really, I think, hits the point, and I hope you'll agree. Can I pray for you? What can I do to make it all go away? Should I talk to you? What would I say to make it all okay? Not a feeling of guilt or obligation, or a matter of doing my part, for there is no pity in this soul of mine. That's how I feel, it's a matter of the heart. I'm making way for you, but I know that you can't meet me there. What you've been going through, I can't imagine the immense pain. It's not a matter of my own opinion, of the who's and the how's and the what's. You're my best friend through thick and thin. That's who you are, it's a matter of the heart. The day will come soon, I know, when you will open up again. The dawn will break across your face, through the tears and the fears and the could have beens. Can I sing for you? What melody will ease your mind? I wanna scream and cry with you, but you're not picking up this time. Not a matter of acceptance, at least right now the hurt's too strong. What you're breathing through, I breathe with you. That's how I feel. It's a matter of the heart. The day will come soon, I know, when you will open up again. The dawn will break across your face, through the tears and the fears and the could have been. Can I sing for you? What melody will ease your mind? I want to scream and cry with you, but you're not picking up the phone this time. It's not a matter of acceptance. At least right now the hurt's too strong. What you're breathing through, I breathe with you. That's how I feel. It's a matter of the heart. It's a matter of the heart. Thank you. Namaste.
Good morning. Well, our theme this month is we're continuing the Fourfold Way. It's a title of the book by Dr. Angeles Arrien, who was an anthropologist, and she studied indigenous cultures. And her work reveals how indigenous wisdom is relevant today to our lives, to our relationships, to our spiritual journey. And according to Dr. Arrien, we went over this a little bit last week, there's 4 archetypal paths. And when we balance those 4 paths, it creates in us a sense of peace, personal empowerment, empathy, and compassion. And those 4 paths are the way of the warrior, the way of the healer, the way of the visionary, and the way of the teacher. And last week we looked at the way of the warrior, which asks us to show up and be present so that we may extend honor and respect both to other human beings and to the planet. The way of the healer, which is our topic today, reminds us to pay attention to what has heart and meaning. The way of the visionary encourages us to tell the truth without blame or judgment. Non-judgmental truthfulness maintains our authenticity and develops our inner vision and intuition. And the way of the teacher is to be open to outcome, but not attached to outcome. Openness and non-attachment helps us recover the human resources of wisdom and objectivity. So the way of the healer, our topic today, is particularly attractive to me because it asks us to pay attention to what has heart and meaning. According to Dr. Arrien, she says, many native cultures believe that the heart is the bridge between Father Sky and Mother Earth. For these traditions, the 4-chambered heart, the source for sustaining emotional and spiritual health, is described as being full, open, clear, and strong. And these traditions feel that it's important to check the condition of our 4-chambered heart daily and ask ourselves, am I full-hearted, open-hearted, clean-hearted, and strong-hearted? And if we can say yes, then we are part of that beautiful flow of life. When we are not full-hearted, we approach people and situations half-heartedly. We talked a bit about this last week. The experience of feeling like we should do something when we don't want to is the breeding ground for half-heartedness. Feeling half-hearted is an announcement of the wrong placement, and it's time to remove ourselves from those situations. When we feel stuck because we volunteered for something and it's more than we bargained for, we need to be honest with our feelings. Otherwise, the mold that we create in our own mind will have an element of resentment, and we will not experience a perfect circulation of good. If we are doing something because we feel we won't be liked if we say no, then once again we need to assess our motive. Unless our whole heart is in what we're doing, it might be best to say no and risk not being liked. Chances are, however, that won't happen. Most people would rather experience our honest no than an artificial or half-hearted yes. Where we are not open-hearted, we become closed-hearted, being defensive, encountering our own resistance, and protecting ourselves from the possibility of hurt are signals of closed-heartedness. The answer is to soften and to reopen the heart. There's a wonderful conversation between Rabbit and Skin Horse in the book The Velveteen Rabbit. "What is real?" asked the rabbit one day when they were lying side by side near the nursery fender before Nana came to tidy the room. "Does it mean having things that buzz inside you and a stick-out handle?" "Real isn't how you are made," said the Skin Horse. "It's a thing that happens to you. When a child loves you for a long, long time, not just to play with, but really loves you, then you become real." "Does it hurt?" asked the rabbit. "Sometimes," said the Skin Horse, for he was always truthful. "When you are real, you don't mind being hurt." "Does it happen all at once, like being wound up?" he asked, "or bit by bit?" "It doesn't happen all at once," said the Skin Horse. "You become. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't happen often to people who break easily or have sharp edges or have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off, your eyes drop out, and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly except to people who don't understand. To love with an open heart means to be hurt sometimes, because to love and to be loved, we have to be vulnerable. We have to drop those ego stuff. And Skin Horse knew all of this, and that was what he was talking about when he was talking to Rabbit. Where we are not clear-hearted, we are confused and carrying a doubting heart. This is where we need to wait. States of ambivalence and indifference are precursors to confusion and doubt. One chapter of Christina Baldwin's book, 7 Whispers, is moving at the pace of guidance. When we are confused, we often simply need to slow down. Moving too fast cancels out guidance because it puts us out of touch with spirit, which puts us out of touch with the natural flow of life. When we move at the pace of guidance, we have time to question and time to listen for answers before moving on. When we move at pace, we open our heart to the mystery of life, and our choices reflect that guidance. Where we are not strong-hearted now is what we're on, is where we lack the courage to be authentic or to say what is true for us. Strong-heartedness is where we have the courage to be all that we can be in life. Strong-hearted people have the courage to stand up for themselves and for what is right. It isn't easy. Being silent is easier, but it leaves us with a sense of not being in integrity with ourselves. Integrity also includes the courage to do the right thing, even when it's hard. In the book, The Speed of Trust, The One Thing That Changes Everything, Stephen Covey Jr., the son of the author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he relates the story of the wife of a medical student years ago. She said, getting into medical school is pretty competitive, and the desire to do well and be successful puts a great deal of pressure on the new incoming freshman. My husband had worked hard on his studies and went to attend his first examination. The honor system was expected behavior at this medical school. The professor passed out the examination and left the room. Within a short time, students started to pull little cheat papers out from under their papers or from their pockets. My husband recalled his heart beginning to pound as he realized it is pretty hard to compete against cheaters. And about that time, a tall, lanky student stood up in the back of the room and stated, I left my hometown and put my wife and 3 little babies in an upstairs apartment and worked very hard to get into medical school. I will turn in the first one of you who cheats, and you better believe it. They believed it. There were many sheepish expressions, and those cheat papers started to disappear. And that young man set a standard for the class, which eventually graduated the largest group in the school's history and went on to become a highly respected physician. It may feel difficult to have the courage to stand up for our values and for the good of others. But if we come with an open heart that embraces love, it is easier to do the right thing. When our motives are pure, from love and integrity, we don't listen to our ego telling us to consider what others might think of us or why it isn't a good idea to be honest. Marianne Williamson writes, spiritual progress is like a detoxification. Things have to come up in order to be released. Once we have asked to be healed, then our unhealed places are forced to the surface. A relationship that is used by the Holy Spirit becomes a place where our blocks to love are not suppressed or denied, but rather brought into our conscious awareness. When we recognize that everyone in front of us is our teacher, we see them in a different light. That doesn't mean we will like all of them. We won't. But it does mean that we can stand open, vulnerable, courageous to the lessons they are giving us. We do not respond in anger or by shutting down or by making a case for our self-righteousness. If we are opening our shadow side to the light of love, we see these lessons as entryways to our own healing. And we will see the wisdom in the words of the skin horse. Real isn't how we are made. It is something that happens when we stand in relationship, when we love and when we are loved. And yes, sometimes it hurts. But we found value in that pain, and we have become better for it. It takes a long time, perhaps a lifetime of opening and reopening. And that's why it doesn't happen to people who break easily, or have sharp edges, or have to be carefully kept. That's why it doesn't happen to those unwilling to look at their shadows. You know, as we age, we become more real, less involved in the ego interests of image, possession, outer world successes. We see that the relationships we have with others, casual, deep, and in between, are meaningful because they are opportunities to expand our hearts and become more deeply loving. And we can empathize with skin horse. Generally, by the time you're real, most of your hair has been loved off, your eyes drop out, and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly except to the people who don't understand. Thank you. Namaste.
It goes like this. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it. Peace fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it does. Peace fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it. God fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it does. God fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it does.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, thank you so much. So it's time for our offering. I'm going to put that law of circulation in process. We haven't talked about prosperity pig for a while, and we're supposed to. The board said we were supposed to. Flo, that's her name over there, is Prosperity Pig. And one of the things, if you want to see what it's like to watch this Flo go, is to keep track of any unexpected or unplanned income and feed Flo 10% of it. That's actually the beginning of the tithing process, you know. But what happens is that when you start looking for that unexpected income, you find more and more and more of it. So you're feeding Flo more and more and more. And what's really fun is that you start getting more and more and more because you are setting up that idea that there is no beginning and end, that there is a flow to all good, and you are smack dab in the middle of it. So think about Flo next time you find if somebody buys your lunch, feed Flo 10% of what it would have cost you to buy your lunch. Or if you get some kind of a refund of some kind, feed Flo 10% of that, and just watch how that works. So, okay. So won't you join me in our offering affirmation on the left-hand side of our bulletin? My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Okay. And again, I thank you for your generosity that allows us to be a beneficial presence in this community, and allows our little center down here to be a bright spot in this neck of the woods. So thank you so very much. So let's close this portion out in prayer. And if you are here for the first time, please join us for refreshments so we have a chance to get to know you better. So I know that there is one life. It is the life of God. And that life of God animates you and me. I know that there is one love. It's the love of God. And that love flows through each and every one of us. I know that we are blessed beyond measure for this spiritual family that we call our home. And I know that we, with the power of prayer, can change the world. So I speak my word for anyone who's experiencing any kind of a challenge, and to know that right where that challenge is the love of God. I speak my word for Israel and the Middle East, and to know that peace is a power beyond all appearances, and we call that forth now. I give thanks for the opportunity to be here today, to speak my word, and to know indeed that life is good and very good, as we say together, and so it is. And may we stand and sing Stand.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand